Hey guys, Carlos Cortez here. Another episode of Scriptures in Wall Street. My bad, I was out this week. I finally took the week off. Was in Puerto Rico. Unfortunately, it was for my mom's 70th birthday. She was not able to make it. My family and my sister's family decided to continue with the festivities in Puerto Rico, and it was awesome. Unfortunately, my mom stayed home to be with my uncle, her brother, because he was expected to pass away. But a miracle happened. A miracle is happening right now. Literally, my families, who are a bunch of believers, strong believers, have interceded for Tio Oli, and we experiencing nothing short of God's goodness, God's grace. And he died literally 3 times in the past 10 days, and they resuscitated his heart, electrocuted his heart, and each time you do it, obviously you do damage to your heart. And the doctor said if it stops again, we're just not going to resuscitate him, and we're just going to let him die naturally. And we all agreed to that. But something happened. Something happened. My father, who's a pastor, as you guys know, went over there and basically said, "We know you're a believer, but let's get your heart right, so that you're ready to go home." And my dad did Romans Road salvation, did the sinner's prayer, and told him to wink if you accept him and rededicated your heart to him. And he winked, and we believe he was conscious. And all of a sudden, the miracle, the unknown, the unexpected happened, and he's literally walking. This is him walking. He looks crazy. He is crazy, but yeah, this is not his best days, obviously, but he is surviving for now. So do I get upset that my mom didn't go to her 70th birthday party? I'm not upset at all. I'm just grateful that my uncle's alive and he has a shot, a small shot, but he has a shot. And my mom's happy. And I had to experience a nice family vacation, the wife, the kids, my sister, and my nieces. So if you live in Puerto Rico, man, pray for them out there because they completely need infrastructure there. I don't know what is going on. I'm not into politics over there. But if they're a commonwealth, then we need to treat them like a commonwealth. I mean, the infrastructure is terrible. When we're there visiting San Juan, Viejo San Juan, they didn't even have running water for 4 days. They were serving us paper plates because they couldn't wash plates. So it felt like COVID again. You remember when they served you in paper plates, disposable plates, and silverware or plasticware? Yeah, in downtown San Juan, they did not have any running water. One of the pipes busted, and the main municipality that controls the main waterway just busted, and it's been 4 days, and they just can't get help. Be interesting if we could just focus on efforts in American soil and our American property, since Puerto Rico is a commonwealth. My heart goes out to them because it truly looks like a third world country. In some parts, it really is. Fortunately, I was able to stay at a nice resort in Fajardo, El Conquistador, and it was beautiful. I mean, the water is gorgeous. As soon as you get out, man, you got extreme poverty, and I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for this platform. I'm grateful that someone in my genealogy, aka mis abuelos, my parents, my grandparents, decided, let's move to the mainland so we can have a better life for our children, so that they can grow and be professionals that are called to do great things. And it's my honor and my duty to continue to grow, not just me spiritually, but you as well and my family, and to keep pushing that envelope. Because if we go back to our old times, sometimes we do have to go back to recharge our batteries, to acknowledge, hey, this is where we were at. Let's be grateful for where we're at today. Now we have a home, we have AC, we have new cars. We don't have to worry about where the next meal is coming from. We have running water. We have electricity. We have internet that is so good we can even do video conferences on it and podcasts. We have gotten comfortable. We have gotten spoiled. We have gotten to a point where we're numb. We're numb. We're irritable. We're comfortable. And there's no growth when you're comfort. There was a shirt I saw in Spanish that I really, really loved. So this T-shirt read, "Quien no sufre no avanza." So that basically means in English, if you're not suffering, you're not advancing. And I just thought that was so. I don't know if that was the Holy Spirit talking to me to share with y'all, but it definitely hit me at the moment. I was getting out of the pool with the family, is that as I'm looking around and people were like drinking, and there was a lot of women in thongs. My wife was getting uncomfortable, and I start thinking lustful thoughts, and like it just wasn't a good scene, right? And then it just reminded me that people in the island life, they live this lifestyle of, let's party, let's enjoy today, let's find the pleasures of the world, let's look cool, and let's make it about me and you, and just me, who has the loudest car, who has the loudest speakers, and who gets the most attention. And we've made it about us, or I, and not about family, not about your spouse, not about God, not about others. And so when we get comfortable being comfortable, we actually retard ourselves. We actually regress, and we slow down our growth. We slow down our potential. And it's sickening to me because the people of that island have so much potential if they just change their mindset, if they would just focus on themselves. And actually, the good people leave Puerto Rico because they get educated, they go to medical school, or they find a college that whatever discipline they want, and they go to the States and find a better job, and they can still speak Spanish and English, and they live a great lifestyle, and they're able to advance their families with better opportunities. And many of you watch this podcast is, how can I advance my opportunity in my retirement? And many of you have suffered and you've learned from it. There's a saying, everybody has everybody has a plan. By Mike Tyson left us with this. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Greatest saying of all time. And in reality, it's getting hurt. Going through the pain is the pathway. Pain is the pathway. You never see anybody growing from the couch. And so I want to make sure that if you're suffering in your marriage, if you're suffering in your business, if you're suffering health-wise, get off the couch, do something about it, be proactive. It shows up financially, it shows up relationshiply, and it shows up environmentally, because the environment you create in your home is the environment that you brought to your home. And so us men are very responsible for the environment we choose to create at home and in our retirement. I realize that when people call, they call for financial advice, they call for, hey, how do you do this? They call for wealth management. And honestly, guys, making returns is the easiest thing. If you're not making returns, that's the least thing I could do for you. Like, I would rather be more of an impact than just a money guy that grows your asset. because everybody has their number. I was speaking with a 27-year-old, and he's like, if I can just have $1 million, I can just live off the interest and I wouldn't have to have a job. I said, what if that interest is 7%? He's like, 70 grand a year on $1 million bucks, I would never have to work. I said, well, what would you do? He said, I would just work out all day and get people healthy. I said, well, go do that. You don't need a $1 million portfolio because you're better off. You're better off doing that and enjoying what you do for work than to do something that you don't enjoy just so you can get the $1 million bucks, so you can go to get interest at 70 grand a year, so you can do your ministry. Guys, your ministry is now. What you're doing now at your job, at your circumstance, whatever that is, it should be with a full heart and full content, not because you're a slave to your job. I understand if you're a laborer and you got to work and you got to cut grass or be a pipe welder or a construction worker. I understand that you're a laborer, but it's not your 9 to 5 that is your problem. It is your 5 to 9. It's what you do after work that determines if you can advance in your career, if you can advance in your home, if you can buy that certain thing that would make you feel proud. And more importantly, our relationship with Christ is the one that literally gives us all the knowledge, all the success to grow our assets, to get provisional wealth from Him. He gives us the knowledge to build wealth. It's a beautiful thing. It really is, especially here in America, where we have the opportunity to have a spirit of enterprise. Like literally, you can do whatever you want. You can build whatever you want, as long as it's according to the laws and you're doing people right. You can do whatever you want, man. Like it is so awesome. But we have this money game. We have the bills. And so if we can study passive income, if we can study how can we build wealth now through our job and saving money, and then once we get that dollar amount, maybe it's $500,000, maybe it's 40 grand, maybe it's 50 grand, maybe it's $1 million bucks and you need your 7%. Again, the 7% is never guaranteed, but you have ebbs and flows of the markets, ebbs and flows of certain timing. But the point is that for every $1 million that you have, you should be able to generate $70,000. Maybe if you're aggressive, $90,000 to $130,000. You can buy notes, right? Notes typically start around 10, and those are conservative. But those aren't guaranteed. We've talked about notes. I haven't brought them up yet because my provider hasn't gotten back to me. But there are notes right now that if you want to invest in technology, you can get 25, 26%. They're called coupons because they're not dividends. You don't own a stock. You actually own a note. And so they pay a coupon rate. And people like these because they're issued by banks and they're issued by reputable companies that are have substantial liquid assets. But they're notes, guys. They can default. They're not guaranteed. It is yellow money. And I'll be talking about them. The more information I get, I know we've had several calls from current clients. Oh, man, I would love to have a 20% note. And they're out there, and you can go find them. The problem is that advisor going to be in the same? Does he have the experience? Does he know your current situation? Because I'm not responsible for what others do to you, right? So, and speaking of which, everything on this podcast is meant for information, education purposes only. I'm not here to give investment advice. If you would like investment advice, give us a call, 813-448-3446. Or you can visit us at cortezwm.com. That is cortezwm.com. You can book an appointment online with us or request to book an appointment. I, myself, or Shane will reach out. And we're extremely busy. We got a waiting list right now. But it's a good thing because markets are very, very manipulated. We're going to talk about that here shortly, what I think is going to happen, what has happened. I've noticed that while I was gone in PR, like I said months ago, they didn't lower the interest rates. Wait and see. So predictable. Wait and see, y'all. Wait and see. Because they don't even know what they're doing. They don't know what the next assignment is. So much has happened. Commercial real estate. Now we have private credit crisis could derail the whole economy. That can completely destroy your bank. You know, we had a call the other day with an awesome client. Can't give names. He was trying to move money to green money. And unfortunately, the bank blocked him because he had bought something on a non-approved list, and it was a non-FDA product that actually helped him with his health. He used his own money. The bank caught on to it and said, hey, you're putting our whole bank at risk. We're a credit union, and any money that you decide to disperse, we're just going to put a temporary strain on it, restriction on it. And this went on for months. And guys, I'm telling you that whenever this hits the fan, the private credit or commercial lending or pension crisis, whenever this hits the fan, you have to be so prepared. Because I told you, while things are bad, the stock market will go up. While things are really, really bad underneath, it will keep on propping the stock market. There's something that no one's really talking about with AI. As we see AI taking off, they're not talking about what happens when it gets regulated. There's a move to AGI, which is a more advanced API. And AGI basically is going to come here faster than we think, where AI is robotic. It could be used in tangible ways, like it does people's jobs. We see robots already being presented in festivals, handing out candy, handing out this, handing out that, doing simple tasks, when that thing is capable of reprogramming the whole ecosystem. And they're slowly releasing the robots so that you can get used to it, so you can rely on them. And we are going to be so reliant on robots, it's not going to be funny. So the other thing in retirement, guys, is that how are you focused on the evolution of where technology is? We are going to a track, trace, control agenda. We are going to see more banks have control over your financial life. I've already, in detail on SPF and other shows, have broken down what a privacy agreement is on your bank. Guys, I'm telling you, if you ever read this stuff, you'll never be able to understand how much power they have over your money. You've literally forfeited your money in the bank. Millions of dollars in the bank. Technically, it's gone. You only have the benefit of withdrawing the money out as a beneficiary, if they have it. It's that scary. It's that scary, guys. You literally do not have rights to your money other than withdrawing it, if they have it. And then they even question large cash withdrawals. You have to set up appointments. You basically have to ask permission to take your money out. Sad. And to think that any bad tweet, any bad war, any bad comment, any one debacle could derail the whole financial ecosystem. And that could be AI, it could be private credit, and it could be commercial lending. And I think we can see all three. I'm not here to gloom and doom. I'm just here to be real. That it is time to protect yourselves. It is time to acknowledge and prepare, like the word of God says. The passive pay the penalty. Now is not time to be passive. Now is time to be proactive. Now is time to put money away in smart places. Your whole life, you saved in a 401k that you don't own. You saved in a bank account that you literally don't own. You saved and borrowed and paid interest on your car note, on your home. so that you can be a slave to that? Let's be smarter. It's time to be proactive. And so this is why I say making money in the market's easy. Like last year, our aggressive fund did 32%. Our growth fund did 24%. Our conservative fund did 14% that we utilize. There's so much things I could show you based on your risk tolerance. Our green money accounts right now in a safe environment, the indices are killing it. Actually, let me just show you right now. If you currently have money in the bank, a 401k, or even precious metals in an IRA, you may want to listen up. You're going to want to have a place where you have a guarantee on your funds. As we go into a lower interest rate environment, banks will be stressed out when the commercial real estate crisis happens. Right now, you can get a guarantee, yes, a guarantee on your principal, and get a bonus. If you're younger than 65 years of age, we can utilize an insurance-based contract that has been around for over 100 years. We want to help you find a guarantee on your funds that are actually outside of banking laws, outside of securities laws. And guess what? You get a guarantee on your funds. You get a guarantee on your principal. Go to greenmoneysolutions.com, fill out your information, and let's just see if you qualify. So this is a green money account, guys. I want to go ahead and really talk about this real quick. Of course, this is not investment advice, and this is one of the indices that I like. If you go to greenmoneysolutions.com, this would be option 3. Now, this is a very powerful account. A lot of people ask me, how can I make money with AI and the NASDAQ and the growth of everything? But I don't want to risk it. My standard, and I talk about the standard deviations being of the NASDAQ over 24%, which is extremely high. Guys, the standard deviation is 0 because this is inside of insurance contract. But I want you to understand, since 2004, this did a 9.9. It lost in 05, 06, 3.6, 07, 5, a negative 12.5. 09 was 25% gain. A 22, a 3, and 2012 was 18%. 2013, a 24 and a quarter, roughly. 2014, another 2013, 18%. 2013, 24%. In 2014, 18.9, and 15, it did 3. 2016, negative 2, and 17, it did positive 35. 18, it did 5. 19, it did 26%. In 2020, it did 21.5%. 21 did 15. 22, a negative 22. 23, it did a 30.5. 24 did 4.5. This last year, it lost 0.5%. And currently, right now, it was as high as 18, and it went back down to 14.17. These are some serious returns. If you've never received those returns, you could get 100% of these with no cost to you utilizing option 3 on Green Money Solutions, depending on your state. So you got to give us a call, make sure it's right for you. This is a great index. And this is what I'm talking about because, look, a lot of you are doctors, pilots, business owners, just awesome people, like hardworking Americans. You don't have the time. You don't have the time to get in the back of the screen, learn this stuff, watch it, and then do your job that you're really good at. Like no one has ever said that you need to go to retirement planning school and learn this stuff. And what's cool about that is I can do all that for you. That's why people hire me, so I can watch this 24/7. It's not like I'm behind a computer screen all day trading and watching every single account because I don't have to. I have a family. I have kids. I'm a hockey dad. I worship lead at my church. I take my kids to school. I'm busy. And then I have the podcast, which I enjoy everything. I don't regret anything. I enjoy all of it and will gladly do it. And I really enjoy that you guys are protected, that you guys have an outlet where you can participate in professional money management and not get hurt. So this is one of those accounts. Again, past performance is not indicative of future results, but imagine having an account where Look, the NASDAQ obviously is up. I'll show you the NASDAQ here in a second after I'm done with this chart. This is a great account because what I love about this is it only goes to the QQQ. This is not, I want to make sure this is not QQQ, the stock. You're not buying the index. You're not buying the ETF. Sorry, not stock. It's a fund, exchange traded fund. You are not buying directly the QQQ, the money manager, also known as the growth index executive team. This is a fund. And so what they do is they go like hopscotch, like double hopscotch. You remember that back in the day? They know when to get in, the good jumpers. Well, they're going in. And when they're going in softly. And what softly means is they have the ability just to only go 30% in, 27% in where it's currently at. When there's a lot of volatility, you see the red chart here, it overtakes. Well, right now there's another 45% in cash. A good 35, sorry. There's 28% in the QQQs, 35% in a 10-year treasury collecting yield, and then the other 36%, so basically a third, is in cash. It's just sitting idle because they know what the volatility is going to come right back down. Heavy position in cash, heavy position in treasuries. So basically 70% of it is in a fixed asset class, and only 30%, roughly 30%, is exposed on the equity side. Is your money manager doing this on a day-to-day basis, guys? Like it's already moving to cash or fixed income on 70% of your money. While the stock market goes up, the NASDAQ goes up, the robots do their thing. They prop it up. Guys, this is how you make money in a manipulated market, by having somebody pulling the strings for you on your behalf, acknowledging the manipulations and being smart and tactical. That's the key word, tactical. When you buy and do the Dave Ramsey stuff, buy and invest the rest and invest in a mutual fund, you are not dollar cost averaging. You are basically being a duck and being manipulated. And over time, over 10, 20, 30 years, some of you don't have, you're experiencing growth because it's a passive style. That's the Warren Buffett style. A lot of people do not have time for the Warren Buffett style, okay? Literally, the founding fathers, Mr. Graham on Wall Street, taught Warren Buffett and basically said, look, you just got to buy and save into basic funds over your whole lifetime. You accumulate massive amounts of wealth. Well, they didn't have robots there, and they didn't have the manipulations like they did now. And so what you need is you need tactical management to build your wealth. You need tactical management in your yellow money, in your 401k, and even in your green money account. So this has a tactical component to it where they simply can read the markets on a day-to-day basis. They can go 70% fixed income, 30% equity. I've seen it go 90% equity and 10% fixed income. And this is why sometimes in 2025, it didn't do jack squat because it was in fixed income a lot. It wasn't ready to pull the trigger. It wasn't ready to go full blown in the equities. This is what is so beautiful about this particular account, is that they're not even charging us fees. Like you could move your 401ks into this and get these returns at no cost to you. Past performance is not indicative of future results, but a system, you can basically have a system in place going into 2026, Q3 and Q4, having a system that will protect you in two different ways. The guarantee here is that you're never going to lose the interest that you made on your anniversary date, and you're never going to lose your principal. So have at ease there. But also, the other backup system is more of an internal safety if you're a gun fan. In that firearm, there's an internal safety. Basically, it's another pound or two for the internal safety, which is a trigger pull, which is a safety. This is the same thing here, where it's not like a 1911, you click down, you thumb down to safety. This has an internal safety component where if they experience volatility, they're automatically going to go to cash or fixed income so that you, the client, you, the investor, can keep the returns that they've built for so long throughout the year, and they can manage this on a day-to-day basis. It is very powerful and it has an excess return component. They're always going to try to seek excess return. And this is why sometimes we see 35% returns. Sometimes we see 25% returns. Sometimes we see 30 and a half. They really could get the alpha cranking on this. So this could be a part of your portfolio. These are real numbers, by the way. Year-to-date numbers. These are real numbers. These aren't fake numbers, guys. And what I want to make sure that you understand is that we have the ability to implement this in your retirement. We have the ability to implement this, not just for retirement, but money in the bank, money underneath the mattress. Maybe you are rolling jobs or you are changing jobs. Do not roll your 401k into another 401k because you don't own it. And now they're going to have full control of your first 401k. I get the question a lot. Should I roll my 401k to my new employer? No, because you're putting restrictions on it. You want to have the ability to have access to your 401k and control it. And a lot of people do get upset when they realize they can't even access the 401k. So have it self-managed. Contact us, 813-448-3446, or visit us at cortezwm.com. And if you need help on your 401k, visit 401khelpusa.com. And I charge 1%. We have quarterly meetings and reviews, and that's it. And I will tell you personally what is the best mutual funds inside of your 401k without rolling it over, without getting any advisor involved. You and I sign agreement, and I'll give you advice on your 401k. It's that simple. I can do that in any state. So all you got to do is give us a call, 813-448-3446, and I'll be more than happy to help you with that. More importantly, guys, this index is very powerful. You can get that if you're in an older product that you pay a fee to get out. You can get a 15% bonus and make 70% of this index. Or if you just want the straight index with no fees and no risk, you can get 110% of it right now. Rates are changing with these accounts. So contact us because it is time sensitive, and I want you to get the best deal out there. If you currently have money in the bank, a 401k, or even precious metals in an IRA, you may want to listen up. You're going to want to have a place where you have a guarantee on your funds. As we go into a lower interest rate environment, banks will be stressed out when the commercial real estate crisis happens. Right now, you can get a guarantee, yes, a guarantee on your principal, and get a bonus. If you're younger than 65 years of age, we can utilize an insurance-based contract that has been around for over 100 years. We want to help you find a guarantee on your funds that are actually outside of banking laws, outside of securities laws. And guess what? You get a guarantee on your funds. You get a guarantee on your principal. Go to greenmoneysolutions.com, fill out your information, and let's just see if you qualify. All righty, so let's look at the QQQs real quick. So this is going to be the QQQs, guys. This is what that index is based off of, the one ETF. Of course, this is not the direct ETF. Look how this bad boy just shot up. It went down. The QQQ growth index literally went to cash on half their assets. And they bought back around here, and now they're riding his tail, and now they're pretty much 70% cash because of volatility. Would you be buying this right now? I have no idea, guys. This is pretty dangerous level. It reminds me of silver, how it just took off. We will see a correction on this. I don't know when, but once this thing gets regulated and the government starts saying, you know what, all right, this AI stuff is getting out of hand. We need our pause on this bad boy. You will start to see this thing just ticker down and eventually crash like you wouldn't believe. So it's very scary. And you can get into how you build wealth is with our green money account. You can have the same style of growth And when they do pull the plug, when this thing does crash, guess what? You lose nothing. You gain all the upside and lost nothing. So the AI crash will come because this boom is unsustainable. You guys know that. And guess what? The banks know that too. So be extremely careful out there. There's no need to lose money in this market. There's no need to get hurt with all this. You need to understand that there's a lot of options for you. You just got to give us a call, 813-448-3446, or book an appointment online at cortezwm.com. And please like and subscribe. If you like this content, like and subscribe on our platform, Scriptures on Wall Street, on Rumble, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, as well as YouTube. Talking about the dollar real quick. All right, guys, here's the dollar. When I left Puerto Rico, I said they were pumping up the dollar and that silver will go down because of the green traffic lights that we see on the very bottom, and that the momentum here was just on the very bottom. Typically, when it hits these lows, it always spikes up, and I wasn't wrong. Here we are. Guess what the dollar's doing? As soon as I get back, it's still going up. We've had a long trajectory of downward bearish dollar. But what they can do, just like they did back in April when we had this spike, silver hit 120. This is a silver chart here. It literally is this is what silver did. Boom. It bumped up. So, or this is, if you look at silver upside down and when it crashed, this is the crash portion of it because they pumped up the dollar, stole your AI and stole your silver, and people panic sold. And then here we go. Dollar is going down, and then they pump it back up. And we're in that stage right now where the dollar is going right back up. Now I'm going to pull up silver, memorize that dollar chart, because look how correlated this is. Silver, here it is. Silver is going down, and this looks bad. If I'm trading silver, I'm shorting this all the way from up here. As soon as it got red traffic lights, I would have been shorting silver like crazy, buying ZSL. So here we go. ZSL has been profitable, which is short silver. And as they pump the dollar up, we should see silver possibly hit in the 50s. I hope it goes below 50. I'll be buying some more silver. But we're getting close to the bottom on silver. There is a physical price and a paper price. The paper price determines basically the physical, but the physical outweighs the paper. And we will start to see this come into fruition, hopefully soon. But don't give up on silver. They're going to need it in order to build all this AI. But even NVIDIA and all Larry Fink's team basically said that we're experiencing an era where AI will be taking care of everything, and that is going to create another asset class called computing. So computing is basically the art of, or the collection of all AIs, and computing data into something that can be practical, that can be used, like blockchains, like open APIs, and accessing all these servers that can handle all the APIs. So here we are. We're into this digital era. The transhumans will be implemented. The Fed now will have more reach. The control will be out of hand. And guys, we are not to fear. We are not to fear. Silver's at $65. I got called an idiot. I got called a spick Jew. I got called a clown because I said, I'm shorting silver. It's time to sell it. I said, sell it over here. You can backtrack all the way in April. It's time to sell silver. And I got laughed at. And look what it's been doing for the past 6 months. Been going down because I knew they would pump up that dollar. But yet we get so focused. We get so wind up to the point where the silver becomes our idol. Like we beat our chest. We beat our chest and be like, yeah, I own silver. I'm prepared. No, you're not. You're not prepared. Because if you have to use your silver to survive, brother, you already lost the game. Your money doesn't mean anything. If there's no currency, if water and food becomes more important than currency, and I hope we never get there, but your silver's not going to, maybe it'll help you for a time being, but it's not producing any income. And gosh, if we have to go to precious metals as our term as bartering or going back to barter system, your silver is not going to grow plants and your silver is not going to wash you and feed you. So I don't know why we're getting all butthurt about silver. If the dollar crashes to zero, where are you going to go? Mexico? Canada? Not me, y'all. I'm staying posted up right here. I ain't going nowhere because this is my country. I love this country. It's pointless. And then some people are actually crazy enough to purchase an IRA full of this stuff where you can't even access it. Don't even own the IRA, but now you have a red money asset, an account that the government has full control of. Now we can help you. Just got to give us a call. But yeah, precious metal IRAs are generally terrible because the people that sell them, they rip you off 30% on the buy side. And when you get out, they smack you another 30%. And hopefully you bought it at 18, 20 and it's worth $65, $70 because you're going to get charged another 20, 30% to sell out of it. And it's just pointless. When all you had to do is just stick your money in green money, have principal protection, make money off the AI, make money off all this stuff that's happening. You keep it. Your principal is guaranteed because your money's not in the manipulated market. But teacher's own. I could only say that. So silver, a lot of people will move to gold and silver. Here's gold. So the safe havens aren't being safe haven anymore. Gold has a very similar pattern to silver. It's definitely correlated. And we're now at 4208. We could see 3800 gold, sorry. 3800 seems to be a psychological number where people will start selling even more, which we were at 3800 not too long ago, October 25. Yeah, 3900 was the last support level, and we're almost there. Guys are pumping up the dollar, man. They want those precious metals. The safe havens are not even doing good. Oh, and another safe haven for our younger people is Bitcoin. So you have silver, you have gold, and you have Bitcoin. Oh, check this out. It's dying off a cliff. It's at already 62, going on 63. But this whole start, it was around 82 just in May, and it dropped 61. Bitcoin is violent. We could see a 45,000 Bitcoin very soon. And if you want to make money off the crash of Bitcoin, there's something called SBIT. Again, this is not investment advice. Please, please, please don't buy this. You will lose money long term. And this is just a trade. This is not meant for long-term investing. But if you want to make money off of a Bitcoin crash, this is the stock to do it in, or the ETF, sorry. It's at $61 right now. And it's going down because Bitcoin had a little rally today. But this will do extremely well when Bitcoin crashes. And that's why it's been going up, because Bitcoin's been going down. So SBIT is cool. For those of you that are long-term bull Bitcoiners, this is one of my favorites. And a good time to start looking at it if you want a long-term strategy. Yesterday, this was at 10. It's down 5%. Once again, this is not a recommendation, y'all. This is simply a trade. If you want to make money on the upside of Bitcoin, you could buy this for less than $10, and it's 2 times the leverage of Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin goes up 10%, you will win 20%. If Bitcoin goes down 5%, you will lose 10%. It is 2-time leverage. Right now, I got green traffic lights, although this is showing a below pattern, a declining pattern, and my momentum is starting to point towards back down. But I've never had where it shot up this much and didn't go all the way to the top. So if you look at my momentum index, it rarely touches the middle and dies down. It could touch the middle and die down. So we might even see a lower momentum on this. So this is all just indicators, but I trust my traffic lights and it's showing a bullish power. But I think it's going to have to come down a little bit before we start to see a bull run on this. But we're getting close to the bottom on Bitcoin. I can't tell you if it's going to be 45,000, 50,000, or if it's staying at 58,000, 59, tracking to 62. But we definitely have different floors to this. So yeah, BitU would be for somebody that is long-term bullish on Bitcoin. And if you can't afford a Bitcoin, you could buy a BitU and hold on to it for several months. I wouldn't hold it for more than 4 or 5 years because there's a lot of slippage. It is costly. I believe the operating expenses is 1%. Also, I don't recommend you invest your money if you can't afford to lose, and do not invest your mortgage or anything personal to you that you need to pay your bills, as this is a trade. This is simply a good trade that's forming. It's not ready for a bull run. I'm just saying in the future, mark my words, this is less than $10. And at its all-time high, this thing was cooking really, really well. 52-week range was at 65. So if it gets to 70 again, you'll make a ton of money. You can also buy call options on this. It'd be a good idea for those of you that want to take risk. So I wanted to share some photos of my family in Puerto Rico. We had a good time, and pray for the people of Puerto Rico. They never really recovered from Irma and Maria. There's a lot of electrical issues, infrastructure issues, and a lot of them are just hardworking people. And they're part of the United States. They're part of the United States. So it's like, wow, how come we own Puerto Rico and we can't even take care of the island? So it's a shame, man. It really is. But yeah, I just pray for them so they basically have water. Like San Juan does not have water. It is crazy. Guys, I'm just excited to be back in the saddle. I'm excited to help all you. I'm excited to answer a lot of your questions. If you have questions about your current retirement or you need help, you can email me directly, info@cortezwm.com. Again, it's info@cortezwm.com. More than happy to help you in any way I can. So I'm excited. We have our championship tonight at our beer league. The conservatives, if you haven't heard us, they made fun of us on Reddit. They called us an anti-Semitic team, and the liberals said they wanted to check our brains into the boards. And obviously, USA Hockey had a field day with these liberal terrorists. But we're going to represent tonight. We're going to have fun. We're going to win, and we're going to hoist our conservative values. Hopefully, I can hoist that beer league cup that's been passed around like a bad omen. Shane, if you had the opportunity to talk to Shane plays on my hockey team, and he is a monster. So I'm giving him my backup stick because he already broke like three sticks in the past 3 weeks. But yeah, conservative hockey. I will be starting a Instagram and just the YouTube channel just on conservatives hockey, so you can see the life of what we live. We're full of doctors, dads, guys that just love this country, that want to get in shape, that want to be awesome fathers and play ice hockey here in Florida. So I'll let you know how that channel starts. And I haven't started yet, but I need to work on it. I really need to build it because we've gotten a lot of attention, especially on Reddit, because of me. They called me an anti-Semitic and blah, 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 and call ICE. They said, call ICE on Carlos and send him back to his country. I'm like, call ICE and send me back to my own country? Okay, send me back to Raleigh, North Carolina then. Cape Fear Hospital, Fayetteville. I don't know what that means. But yeah, besides, 80% of the military in North Carolina is going to be Puerto Rican or some Spanish descent, just so you know. You know, the guys that actually man enough to fight for our country. All right, guys. Love y'all. Be safe. Don't forget to like and subscribe our YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, as well as Apple Podcasts, Scriptures and Wallstreet. That's what it's called. God bless, and we'll talk. So how many times have we gotten lost in the minutia of the everyday life? We've gotten fat, we've gotten lazy, we've gotten complacent, not just in our faith, but also our fitness, maybe our finances, maybe our marriage, maybe our family. But we've gotten complacent, and we constantly need to continue to grow. And one of the things I was weak at was in my fitness. As a former athlete, I thought I had it all. My ego got in the way. I'm like, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Up until now, I have been able to focus on my fitness. For those of you who've been following me for 3 or 4 years, you understand that I've gained a lot of weight. I've used the excuse of having 4 kids, a marriage, a business, helping out at church, all these excuses. And I keep putting myself in the back burner. This is deadly. And what I love about this company, what I love about taking ownership, is that GetMeLeanUSA.com has the ability to introduce natural, groundbreaking peptides. What your body demands, what your body needs to release those fat stored cells, to build muscle, to gain your physical being back to where it's naturally supposed to be. We're not talking about big pharma saying we're going to come out with the weight loss drug. We're not talking about losing muscle. We're talking about gaining muscle, gaining your physique back, controlling your appetite, giving you the edge that you need to help you get your body back in check the way God intended it to be, by using his resources with America First products, with America First company that aligns and believes in what you believe in. Introducing GetMeLeanUSA.com. Get in. This is going to be groundbreaking, huge business opportunity, as well as a huge groundbreaking technology that is going to change the landscape. So I know good things before I see it, and I highly recommend you get in. All you got to do is click the link below and get you some fit, get you some lean, and get fit and get lean. This is not going to do everything. Of course, diet and exercise, you continue your walking, continue your protein intake, but man, does it make it a whole lot easier to get in shape. Look at me, I've lost 60 pounds, but this is actually fundamentally a great recipe to get back in shape. And I can personally attest to the amazing effects of this product. So go to GetMeLeanUSA.com. You won't regret it. You can cancel anytime. They're affordable, and yet they're effective. And you are supporting our show. You're supporting yourself. You're supporting a mission. There is an affiliate program attached to it if you would want to share it with your friends and family. There's a whole nother opportunity there. But more importantly, let's get your fitness back in check. God bless you. Carlos Cortez here, signing out.